Hey, this is Alan Hinds again, and I'm here to step you through the Atlantic 4.0 by Jackson Ampworks. It's kind of similar to the Britain in that it has 4 stages of power. You can get 15 watt, 30 watt, 25 watt, and 50 watt, and it also uses EL84s as well as EL34s. So let me step you through the little features on the front panel, then we will go to the back. It has a high input, low input like you would have on a Marshall amp. It has a volume control. This is the first knob here, which of course turns it up louder and softer. If you turn it to the right, it gets louder, and turn it to the left, it gets softer. Just in case you didn't know. The edge control here is like a master tone control, best I understand it. That's kind of at the end of the circuitry that you can, it just gives you more of a variable over the tonal combinations. I'll demonstrate that in a second. Underneath is a normal and bright switch like you would have on, you probably all kind of know on your amplifiers. And that's the guitar with the bright in, which I happen to like, and here is it when it's out. You can definitely hear a big difference there, but it's all variable. You can like cut that down, you can adjust other things so you can get everywhere in between, really. That just shows you what it can do. The next switch underneath is SC and HB, which stands for single coil and humbucker. And it's not really a setting for a single coil or a setting for a humbucker. It's more, it kind of simulates a single coil sound and simulates a humbucker sound, more or less. And I'll show you that really quick. This is the single coil setting. And here's the humbucker setting. It's much chunkier, and probably you would use that if you had a single coil pickup guitar, just because it would beef things up a little bit. Or if you wanted to make a humbucker sound a little more jazzy, maybe, you might kind of keep it on that. That might be a nice little feature there, too. Right above this, we just have the treble mid-bass control, which we all know what those do. Back to the bottom switches here. The next one switch over it says thin and thick, which is similar to the other switch of single coil and humbucker, but it's just in a different place, just an EQ in a different place in the amp circuitry. That's with it on thick. Here it is on thin. The really radical differences, you can really hear them, but you know, in the studio, that's like really welcome. And if you want, sometimes guitar tones sound best if they're kind of tucked away with an interesting little sound to them. And the cool thing about this amp is like a big, wide range of EQ and tones you can get. The next little switch over is low gain and high gain, which is exactly what it is. This is low gain, high gain. Low gain, high gain. And then finally, on the bottom set of switches, you have an on and off switch for the presence control, which kind of takes it out of the circuitry, which makes it kind of wide open when you take it off. When it's on, the presence knob will work, of course. And when it's off, it's kind of wide open. And besides all that, you also have a foot switch, which will give you, it's a little different from the foot switch on the Britain in that it's kind of just an overdrive switch. It kind of puts it right over the top. So if I have a setting that I like I kind of liked it with the presence off, I press the foot switch, and it really goes over the top. which would be nice if you're a slide guitar player like I am, because you like to have the extra overdrive to kind of bring out all the harmonics and keep the sustain going. Okay, real quick, let's go to the back. It's similar to the same setup we had with the Britain, in that right now I have it at its lowest setting, which is 15 watts with EL 84s. And if I switch this little switch in the back, which is real easy to do, where that is right there, it knocks it up to 30 watts. But you can hear already the clarity. All of a sudden, it's start getting all the nice little bell tones and. Step further and I can turn the switch and make it EL 34s at 25 watts. And my favorite setting, which is the 50 watts with the EL 34s. And so for over the top, I mean, you can cut the presence out, you could put thick in, you can put, you know, there's just so many different combinations of things you can do with it. And once again, it's really finger sensitive, so if I decide just to back off with my fingers, it really, everything still stays nice and fluffy, and you can still hear all the little nuances you get with your fingers. For example. It almost sounds like I reached up and adjusted something, but I just knocked back the volume on my guitar. So it's a versatile amp. It's really great fun, and there's just endless combinations you can get with this amp. So this is the Atlantic 4.0 by Jackson Ampworks.